No.
Halverson,
No.
Jordan,
Aye.
Garcia,
Aye.
Emery,
No.
Andera,
Aye.
Kaiser,
Aye.
Schaefbauer,
Aye.
Manhart,
Aye.
Baxter,
Aye.
Heineman,
Aye.
Mulder.
No.
8 ayes, 4 nays, 1 excused.
Having received a majority vote, House Bill 1182 will move to the House floor with a due pass recommendation. All right, up next, House Bill 1151, ban kratom and kratom products to provide a penalty therefor. Representative Heineman, proponent testimony.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. I come before you to provide testimony on House Bill 1151, an act to ban kratom and kratom product, penalty thereof. There has been some news about the kratom product in the past, this past year, and so I guess I would like you to be aware of that and consider the testimony. And I'll stand by for questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Further proponent testimony for House Bill 1151.
Mr. Chair, Senator John Carley, District 29. I have a couple pictures I'm going to put up here, so should be on the screen. Thank you.
What do we have? Okay. Okay.
Thank you. So HB 1151, we're looking at banning kratom and kratom products and to provide a penalty therefore. First of all, what is kratom? Sometimes you hear kratom, sometimes you hear kratom, different terms, but I'll go through kind of what this is. So this is the Department of Justice Drug Enforcement Administration drug fact sheet. You can see it's a plant that grows originally in Southeast Asia. Consumption of its leaves produce stimulant effects in low doses and sedative effects in high doses. It can lead to psychotic symptoms and psychological and physiological dependence. There's 2 main ingredients. You'll hear about 7-OH or 7-hydroxymitragine, and they're crushed or smoked, put into tea, swallowed into capsules, different forms there. So how's it abused? Mostly by oral ingestion in form of tablets, capsules, or extracts. So what are the effects? At low effects, stimulant effects, there can be increased alertness, physical energy, and talkativeness. At high doses, you can experience sedative effects. You can see some pictures of it here on the right-hand side. Kratom's effects on the body include nausea, itching, sweating, dry mouth, constipation, increased urination, tachycardia, vomiting, drowsiness, loss of appetite, and a number of other things. What is its legal status? Kratom is not controlled under the Controlled Substances Act. However, there may be some state regulations or prohibitions against the possession. It's not approved kratom for any medical use. Kratom is a drug and chemical of concern. All right, let's look at the health benefits of kratom. Certainly there's health benefits out there as well. We can see from WebMD reports that you can find kratom leaves in some health food stores, vape shops, and online specialty stores. The most common use of it are relieve pain, depression, and opioid addiction. Traditionally, it's been used to treat fatigue, pain, diarrhea, muscle cramps. However, you can see also they list in those same supporting documents, it says kratom can make you feel high or euphoric, similar to the effects of opioids or THC and marijuana when taken in high doses. Let's go through some history in South Dakota. So first of all, kratom is currently legal. In 2020, there were no restrictions on kratom in South Dakota. In 2021, House Bill 1262 introduced some age restrictions to put it at 21. And then in 2025, House Bill 1056 targeted the potency, the concentrations, and the labeling. So today, however, there's ongoing concerns, and there's other states dealing with the same issue and some new information that I think is worth hearing. Here's a quick report in South Dakota. Family warning about kratom. This news article came out about a young man in the Sioux Falls area that died from kratom. The Minnehaha County coroner reported that as kratom as the death there on the death report. So young man, we had him testify at one point, but that's Jake there. Unfortunately, his family lost him due to kratom. This is what it looks like currently in a vape shop with the kratom products. You can see a lot of different colorful products. Some even claim some of these testimonies when they exercise. This is a quick search on Amazon. If you go to Amazon and search word kratom, you can see the results that come up. The vast majority of the top results are drug tests likely for employers who want to make sure that their employees don't have kratom in their system when they're working at their offices. Additionally, you can see a number of the books that come up. First search here, Kicking Kratom, 100 Things You Need to Know About Kratom, and then My Kratom Hell, people are reporting about the addictions, and lastly, Kratom, A Glass Half Empty. That's the first page on Amazon. If you search on Google, how kratom helped me, you can see without logged in or anything, the default results that come up. First of all is a 988 suicide and crisis lifeline. And then the first link there is National Helpline for Mental Health, Drug, Alcohol Issues. And the third link there, kratom unsafe and ineffective. All right, so the question comes up, but aren't all plants okay? It's natural. I'm a big proponent of natural products and plants, and I love all kinds of plants and God's uses for them. But here's the question. Let's look at a few of these plants. So sugar cane. Sometimes you hear that's argued as, well, that's a drug because you can overdose on it. You can take too much sugar, and our kids can be bouncing off the walls off that. Certainly gives us high energy. That's true. It can give us a sense of euphoria, but it does actually have an addictive effect. Sugar does have that. Let's take a look at cocaine. So cocaine can give you high energy. It can give you euphoria as well, but it does intoxicate your mind as well. It can impair driving. You can overdose with cocaine, and there's extreme addictive and withdrawals from cocaine as well. And ultimately, that ends up staying in your system about 200 hours. That's a plant. That one is, of course, illegal federally. Let's look at kratom. So kratom, we see some of the similar ones. High energy, euphoria, can create calm, as it mentioned, in higher doses. Can intoxicate your mind, though. It can impair driving. It has overdoses. It's addictive and has withdrawals, and that stays in your system also for a number of hours, 400 to 200. Lavender, that's a plant. Some of us use lavender. That can give you high energy. That can calm you as well. Coffee, many of us, if we had it this morning, we might have some energy because of that, hopefully. Can make us happy, those who love coffee and the different flavors. But can have a small addictive effect? Sure, withdrawals, all of us have dealt with that at some point or another. Finally, I grow rare fruit, so I'll mention an interesting one called Manchil fruit. You may have never seen this before, but it creates high energy if you eat it. And it certainly makes you happy if you eat it. But this fruit, if you eat it, will kill you within 30 minutes. So that creates death. So we have to be careful about all plants. All right, everyone's mothers always told them about mushrooms, haven't they? Don't pick the mushrooms in the yard and eat them. Well, why not? You know, this first one here, if you pick that, that's a satisfying, tasty stir fry that we all have. That one's okay. Second one, let's take a look at that. That'll give you a psychedelic mind trip if you take that mushroom. Finally, the last one here, you take that mushroom, you'll be dead in 30 minutes. So there is a difference between plants and fungi and which ones we use and which ones we don't use. There's some ancient wisdom. Some of you may have heard this before. Everything is permissible, but not everything is beneficial. All right, here's two examples of two products you can find at the potential health food store, Boswellia and kratom. Boswellia, if we look at the comparisons here, both of them are plants that can create pain relief. They're a plant, they contain alkaloids, and the FDA says no medical benefit of either. However, the differences are kratom can be addictive instead of non-addictive. It's not approved as a dietary supplement. Boswellia is. It's considered adulterated under FD&C Act. No unreasonable risk with Boswellia. The DEA says a drug and chemical concern, and there's 6 Department of Health deaths reported in South Dakota just with kratom, as opposed to 0 with Boswellia. Similar. Here's some quick research online. You can see Boswellia is labeled as a supplement, but kratom's labeled as a herbal drug or herb, even though both are reporting some benefits. Finally, we see some highlights here from the FDA. They say dietary supplements that contain kratom are adulterated, and they're at the bottom. Therefore, kratom is not lawfully marketed in the U.S. as a drug product, a dietary supplement, or a food additive in conventional foods. We know in South Dakota law that we actually ban some adulterated foods. So some of the opponents will claim, hey, just ban the synthetic and semi-synthetic alkaloids or the chemically modified ones. You'll hear that. However, you can see per our law already, this should be banned as it is because it's an adulterated product, and it's already selling. These are some states that kratom has already been banned. There's 7 states. Louisiana was just added a few months ago, but you can see the states that are in place and growing. California just added it in the past 60 days. They saw it as such a dangerous product that they actually didn't even wait for the legislature. The Department of Health just outright banned it in the state. Just a final reminder, a sad reminder, unfortunately, from the Department of Health. At least 6 South Dakotan lives were cut short due to kratom in 2024. They actually just released some 2025 results that also have deaths in 2025. This is a growing drug. Let's stop it before we have more lives lost. Stand by for questions, but ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you. We got about 30 seconds left for further proponent testimony of House Bill 1151. House Bill 1151.
Mr. Chair, members of the committee, Grant Flynn from the South Dakota Attorney General's office. In the interest of time, we would just rise to say that we concur that kratom is a dangerous substance that should have much more regulation than what it has right now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair, Jenna Severin, South Dakota Police Chiefs Association. We're a Me Too. Thank you.
Thank you. In the room, proponent testimony for House Bill 1151. All right, seeing none here, we'll move to online Me Too's. These are truly just state your name, who you're with, and a Me Too, please. I'll call your name. What do you have?
Here, people put their hands up.
Yep. Miss Eppard, Susan?
Yes, me too. My son died from kratom, and thank you for your time.
All right, Susan Cave.
Me too. My 32-year-old son died from raw leaf kratom in 2024.
Thank you. And just a reminder, please state your name, who you're representing, and a Me Too. So, Mr. Gibbs?
Yes, sir. Dan Gibbs. My son passed away from natural leaf kratom in 2023. I am also Me Too. And please carefully listen to what the industry is telling you, because it's not true. Thank you.
Thank you. Wendy Chamberlain.
Good morning. Me too. My name is Wendy Chamberlain, and I represent the Kratom Danger Awareness, Inc. nonprofit. And I too lost my son to plain leaf powder. He died from metrogene toxicity. And thank you.
And lastly, we see Tia.
Hi, me too. My name is Tia, and my daughter was one of the deaths in Idaho. She died from pure leaf kratom.
Okay, thank you. With that, we will close proponent testimony for House Bill 1151, and we'll move to in the room opponent testimony for House Bill 1151.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the committee. My name is Sam Madsen. I'm a registered lobbyist for the South Dakota Small Business Owners for Hemp. Before I get started and kind of explaining what hemp is, I want to address the proponent of this bill. When we previously had hearings on a similar form of this bill, he brought up Mr. Nordaditsky, the chess player that died from kratom. I actually pulled the death report from his death in that investigation, and he actually had a heart attack. And what happened was Mr. Nordaditsky had methamphetamine in his blood. He had other amphetamines in his blood. And he was found, when his body was found, he had 40 pills of unprescribed Adderall in his possession. So I just wanted to touch on that before I get into what is kratom. So kratom is a natural stimulant that's been used by Olympic athletes since the 1970s as a replacement for caffeine. Essentially, kratom is a plant originating from Southeast Asia that has seen increased usage for medical and recreational purposes. It tends to have a mild stimulant effect at low doses and a sedation and mild pain relief similar to opioids and opiates at higher doses. Many people who are recovering from opioid addiction use this product, and I don't see why we would want to deter that by banning kratom outright. furthermore, the proponent mentioned that there were 6 deaths in South Dakota due to kratom in 2024. I don't dispute that, but what did the state do about that the following year? There was actually a bill brought. It was House Bill 1056, and it was passed to ban synthetic kratom at, I believe, it was a 0.2% or 2% level. And that synthetic kratom is also referred to as 7-OH or 7-OHM. That bill became law and is now SDCL 3420B 115.1. Our group and membership was completely fine with getting rid of that, and they have since removed all of that from their stores. They're not selling that anymore. When that bill was passed last year, House Bill 1056, the bill's sponsor stated in an interview that kratom is available in South Dakota stores, but banning it outright would be difficult because people can still get this on the internet, and he's absolutely right, because it's federally legal, so you can still obtain it offline. So what really, if we do an outright ban, we're just killing the small business aspect in South Dakota, and people are just going to buy it online. Furthermore, I think this in all of it, touch on this more in detail in a second, but this bill will bolden the black market when we already know there's a concern, or well, there is an epidemic for fentanyl use and fentanyl overdoses in the state. And I'll share 2 examples with you, 2 anecdotal examples. When I was in college, in law school, I went to school with an individual who went to Ole Miss for undergrad. And when he was in college at Ole Miss, he started taking, he got addicted to opioids and dropped out of school. And he then, after dropping out, got clean, went back and finished his degree, and then went to law school in South Dakota. That's where I met him. He's from Tennessee, and he's a really good guy. So before class one day, you know, we're getting ready for our contract class, and which is a very stressful class, and he took a pill, and I said, what'd you just take, like, before class? And he told me, he said, I used to be addicted to opioids. I take kratom when I'm stressed out or when I have the urge to reuse, and it's really helped me throughout my life. So again, I don't know why we'd want to punish kratom or punish people who are trying to be functioning members of society by using a natural plant rather than taking opioids. And then further, when my partner Steve and I were meeting with our clients, one of them was addicted to Oxycontin. And when we were meeting with him, he had extreme concerns for this bill. And he mentioned to us, if this bill were to be passed, he doesn't know what he would do. And, you know, this guy was addicted to Oxycontin, got clean, and is now a small business owner. And I just don't see the positive in hurting those folks. And I think, finally, I'll just say this. I think too often people make the mistake of assuming that the government banning a product won't create more problems like the black market or hurting recovering addicts. But more often than not, it does just that. And I think as South Dakotans, we all pay for that. So I would encourage your no vote on this bill, and I'll stand by for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Further opponent testimony for House Bill 1151. We got about 5 minutes left. Further opponent testimony. Can you turn the mic on?
Hello. My name is Allison Smith. I'm a registered lobbyist for the Global Kratom Coalition. We are an alliance of consumers, scientific experts, and industry leaders who seek to enact regulations on natural kratom. Today I'm testifying in opposition of HB 1151, which seeks to make sale and possession of kratom a Class 2 misdemeanor and bans all kratom derivatives, including natural and synthetic products statewide. We support strong regulation of natural kratom and respectfully oppose all legislation that would severely restrict access to natural kratom products. We do support prohibition on synthetic derivatives, such as the system that was put in place by Representative Mulder's Bill 1056 that was passed last year. The distinction needs to be enforced. Natural kratom is a leaf botanical from Southeast Asia. It has centuries of safe traditional use. It has been used in the United States safely since the 1970s, and over 23 million Americans report consuming it for its functional benefits. Due to its widespread use and its safety profile, it's backed by this. And so there's decades of science, including an FDA clinical trial that was published in 2024, which shows that natural kratom leaf is tolerable in humans at servings up to 6 times which is normally consumed. There are now 18 clinical trials that support the safety of natural kratom leaf, and that builds on what we already know through public consumption. When addressing the issue of kratom and novel synthetic derivatives, such as concentrated synthetic 7-OH, we encourage the legislature to take a science and consumer-focused approach by seeking to prohibit 7-OH above the concentration of what naturally occurs. This approach is in line with what the FDA has done. In July 29th of 2025, the FDA, HHS, and DEA specifically announced that they were looking to schedule concentrated synthetic 7-OH as a Schedule I substance. FDA Commissioner Dr. Marty McCary explicitly said the agency's intention was not directed at natural kratom. I quote, "We are not targeting kratom leaf or ground up kratom. We are targeting a concentrated synthetic byproduct that is an opioid." The FDA's official press release likewise stated that, and it said that natural kratom is of minimal health concerns. Following this action, states like Kentucky and Florida moved to schedule concentrated synthetic 7-OH. And for context, 7-OH is an oxidative byproduct that's found in trace amounts in the dried leaf. The products that are in question, the ones that are dangerous, are these concentrated synthetic lab-made products. We share the same goal of protecting the public and our most vulnerable, and when discussing these products, there is often a concern regarding overdoses and adverse events. However, data consistently shows that when mitragynine, natural kratom, is present in toxicology reports, it is listed with other substances such as fentanyl, heroin, methamphetamines, and other illegal substances. In the last hearing, and as mentioned previously, the Grand Chess Master Daniel Noritsky, it was brought up saying that he died from kratom. If you read the report, he had methamphetamines in his system, which, as you know, is an illicit substance, one, and it causes cardiac arrhythmia, which is what he died from. So it's safe to say that kratom was likely not the cause of his death. The point is also expressed in CDC toxicology reports, which demonstrate that a vast majority of fatalities where mitragynine is present involves polydrug use. Kratom is not the sole drug present. Again, many of these are fentanyl or opioid cases where there's respiratory depression. In layman's terms, substances that have a long sordid history of causing death are continuing to kill people, and occasionally mitragynine is found in their system. Conflating detection with causation distorts evidence and leads to misguided policies such as this bill. Furthermore, it has not even been a year since the legislature passed the regulation last year, and which established comprehensive regulations for the kratom industry. These regulations have not been given sufficient time to show their efficacy. The 6 deaths that occurred in South Dakota that were mentioned earlier occurred in 2024. This bill passed in 2025. So rather than seeking to ban kratom, we urge that the legislature reject this proposal for a blanket ban and focus on enforcing the good regulations that already exist. Thank you, members, for the committee for your concern and for the citizens of South Dakota, and I welcome the opportunity to answer any questions or bring any research to your attention. Thank you.
Thank you. We have about 30. Hang on online. We have about 30 seconds left for in the room opponent testimony. Okay. Seeing nobody moving in the room, we'll move to online. We are in the time of state your name, a Me Too opposition. Real quickly, who you're representing, and only unmute when we call upon you, please. Mac Haddow.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm with the American Kratom Association. We strongly oppose this bill. I can tell you that the FDA is actively investigating every single one of the reports that you've heard, and their conclusion is that Deaths are rare,
Not sure.
because of polydrug use, adulterated kratom products, and underlying health conditions. Thank you.
You got to kick those guys out. It was Susan and Dan. Just remove them from the meeting. All right, Melody Wolf. Melody, you're on mute. You need to unmute your mic. And truly, it's
Thank you.
state your name, who you're representing, and a me too, please.
Melody Wolf, and I'm representing the advocates. I stood on the HHS and FDA joint press briefing stage. They asked me to speak there about the benefits of kratom as a 12-year consumer. So I am definitely against this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. We're only going to have time for a few more. Sheldon Bradshaw, please.
Sheldon Bradshaw represents Scientific Association for Botanical Education and Research. I'm the former chief counsel of the United States Food and Drug Administration, and I oppose the bill because it would fundamentally misalign South Dakota law with what the FDA is currently trying to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Reed Peterson.
Reed Peterson, representing myself. I oppose this bill as a consumer and a recovering addict.
Thank you. Again, real quick, Misty Brown.
Hi, my name is Misty Brown. I was trapped in active addiction for 11 years from 2008 to 2019. I strongly oppose this bill because I accidentally found whole leaf kratom, and my kids didn't have to bury their mother.
Thank you. Jennifer Gills.
Yes, my name is Jennifer Gillis. I represent myself and other kratom consumers, and I ask that you oppose this bill.
Thank you. Laura Romney.
My name is Laura Romney. I'm with the International Plant and Herbal Alliance, but I'm also a 9-year kratom consumer. And I'm one of those where kratom saved my life from a life of miserable pain in bed. And I truly oppose this bill. And you need to support all those who take it that are in my same shoes. Please do not criminalize those that just want to get pain control and live their lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Caleb Rose. And then we'll take one more.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, respectful members of the committee, my name is Caleb Rose. I'm a business owner in Rapid City, South Dakota, who shared the same concerns as the proponents of this bill until I saw kratom regulated here in South Dakota and heard all the arguments. And now I carry it and I've seen the good it can do. Give it some time. I am in opposition to this bill. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And final one, Shannon Harold.
Yes, hi. I oppose this bill, HB 1151. It will have a devastating effect on our whole country, even South Dakota, my state, Massachusetts, if this is banned. A lot of people, they use, they consume kratom for their pain. I've been taking it since 2017, and I'm against this bill. It saved my life. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we'll close opposition testimony for House Bill 1151 and move to rebuttal. Senator Carley.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senator John Carley, District 29. Some feedback on this. I think we heard some interesting comments from the opponents. I think we heard kratom could be a replacement for caffeine. That may be the case, but only one of those two actually has killed people. And so that's part of why we're looking at kratom as being a concern. I don't hear that with coffee. Secondly, we heard about the chess grandmaster. That guy seems to be a subject of topic here. And he had 7-OH and kratom used in his system. As I said, the article reported he had other drugs too. So there's some concerns. Maybe it's a gateway drug. Maybe it's combined with it. Who knows? But that's certainly a part of it. We heard the opponent say, look, it's all just the great products at the local stores. Well, I went to the store. You saw the picture earlier at the store. We heard the police chiefs testify. Could you tell on that shelf which one of those kratom products is synthetic or not synthetic, or which one's boosted with the 7-OH or not boosted? The person recommending it to me when I walked in said, oh, you should get the one with the boosted. And, there's concerns. There's hundreds of those products. What do you know that you're getting? We've heard the black market comment. We heard that with about any drug or even products these days. Oh, well, if we do this, there'll be a black market. Well, you know what? There's a black market for everything. You can go get Rolex watches down across the border that are black market. Well, should we, not have those in the U.S. because you can go get black market? Black markets exist for every drug, every type of product. Those exist whether or not we ban these things or not. It always exists. We talked about the FDA and the DEA. I showed you actual reports off the DEA website. I show you actual quotes off the FDA website. We heard from opponents some quotes from somewhere. You can go to the FDA. I'll just read directly off the FDA website. When you look at Kratom, it says these are unsafe food additives. It's not marketed as a drug product. It's not a dietary supplement, not a food additive in conventional foods, and it is unsafe. So that's directly off the FDA website. One thing that was heartbreaking is hearing these 5 families that have deaths from their family members. Did you hear what they said? Did you pay attention to some of the words? I know what I heard there when I said, and I haven't met these people before. They said using the unchanged kratom leaf. They didn't mention all these synthetic things and all these other things. They mentioned the regular leaf there. And I listened very carefully when they said that. Also just mentioned we had the Attorney General here. Look, they deal with this the most. And you've seen multiple articles in the news about this. They're in support of this. Also the police chief for South Dakota we heard in support of this. And I'll just conclude by saying 7 states have already banned this and many more are coming. I hope South Dakota will join that and protect our citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we will move to committee questions. Do we have committee questions? Any committee questions? See, Representative Shapauer.
For the prime, Senator Carley. We'll go with him. Are there any other alternative supplements or drugs that would help people, eat, the way they say that Kratom does, with the anxiety or the withdrawals, it helps them to avoid opioids. Are there any other ones that are like FDA approved or safer in South Dakota?
Go ahead, Senator.
Yeah, Chair. Thank you, Representative Schaefbauer. Yes, there's quite a few. Both there's drugs and supplements for anxiety. There's a number of FDA prescription drugs that are for anxiety and even things as far as PTSD. There's drugs for that. And then also there's a number of dietary supplements. I listed one in my presentation about Boswellia, and then there's even food products that can help with those as well. So there's actually all 3, both FDA, dietary supplements, and food products.
Go ahead, Representative Shapauer.
Do any of those supplements have the potential? I mean, of course, everything has the potential for death, but do any of them have the side effects or the risks that the Kratom does?
Go ahead and state your name one more time.
Okay, Senator John Carley, District 29. Thank you, Chair. Representative Schaefbauer, yes. So, for example, I listed one of them as lavender. For example, a lot of people use lavender as a product to calm and calm themselves, and that is also one of the uses of Kratom. They claim it's also for calming. So, yeah, there's products that can do the same.
Thank you. Further questions? Seeing no further questions, we'll move to committee action and/or discussion. Committee action and/or discussion. Representative Manhart.
I move do pass.
We have a do pass motion from Representative Manhart and a second from Representative Baxter on House Bill 1151. Comments on that motion, Representative Manhart? No comments. Representative Baxter, do you have comment?
Just a quick comment. I think most people remember in 2021, Peloton had 1 death. They had to redo their whole Peloton system. They lost $4 billion in 1 day due to 1 death and had to redo everything. I've been reached out to by many family members that have lost people, and I know that the deaths were kind of suggested that maybe that there was no big deal to that because they were maybe mixing it with other things, but I think 1 death is too many, and I'll be supporting all the family members that did reach out to me that did have deaths, and I think 1 death is too many. Thank you.
Thank you. Further comments on House Bill 1151? Representative Halverson.
Mr. Chair, this is a question for you, I guess. When we passed your bill last year, didn't this take all this into consideration?
It did. So I guess I'll just turn that into a comment and then we'll move to action here. But again, I appreciate the conversation. I appreciate Senator Carley and Representative Heineman bringing this forward. And of course, we will, respect the will of the committee.
To get even a few embryos, I had.
This was under consideration about bringing a ban of kratom, and being involved in an organization that does some chemical dependency counseling, transitioning from people with chemical dependency. Also understanding, the more I get into this with law enforcement, I understand the police chiefs are here, again, supporting the bill. But I also understand in my community, police, they're not actively going to look for this. So we did ban synthetic concentrated kratom. Our bill last year did three things. It banned that synthetic concentrated kratom. It put dosage labels on it, the labeling piece, to say this should be the natural dosing of kratom and what it should do. It had a pregnancy warning, because kratom does affect children who are in the womb. And so that's an issue as well. It's a legitimate issue as well. But so does alcohol, right? And people die from alcohol as well, and over abuse and overuse and what that looks like. So those same types of warnings were placed on kratom with the bill last year in what it did. But ultimately, the reason I didn't pursue this route last year, because when we get into it, is what's been mentioned is the availability from the black market to our law enforcement really going to enforce it. Are people going to just order it online? I mean, because ultimately that's what's going to happen here, and what takes place. And so that's why we didn't do that. So again, creating laws that I don't know are truly enforceable or not is my struggle with this. But I appreciate the conversation and the will of the committee to continue to move forward. So if there's no further comments with that, Representative Heineman.
Thank you for the deference to let me respond to that. But since then, there have been several states, as well as two, I believe it was the Marines and the Navy, that banned kratom. So I think that's changed. The other thing is the Attorney General's office here is supporting this. I think that, to me, that's an important aspect of this. So I appreciate your support of this bill.
All right, thank you. With that, what we have before us is a due pass motion from Representative Manhart of House Bill 1151 with a second by Representative Baxter. All those in favor will say aye. All those opposed will say nay. Madam Secretary, please call the roll.
Representative Rayfeld excused. Vosnes?
No.
Halverson?
No.
Jordan?
Aye.
Garcia?
Aye.
Emery?
Aye.
Andera?
Pass.
Kaiser?
Aye.
Schaefbauer?
Aye.
Manhart?
Aye.
Baxter?
Aye.
Andera?
No.
Heineman?
Aye.
Mulder?
No.
8 ayes, 4 nays, 1 excused.
Having received a majority vote, House Bill 1151 will move to the floor with a due pass recommendation.